Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 295, Hall of Fame, and the Mets have been busy. I'm Nick. We have Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. It was a quiet news week, but there's some big stuff that came out, so that's at least nice.
Yeah, there's some good topics to definitely dive into, and we will get into it. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links in our link tree at the top of all of our social media pages. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding Third Baseball, you'll find sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers. Harrison's been working on some pretty cool designs. So check us out, Rounding Third Baseball, and we are going to be getting some new merch out there. Just a great way to get our name out there and to support us to only bring you the finest content. And the same thing with Patreon. We are on Patreon, small little community there. It's very tight. We let you guys know of upcoming guests, and we post exclusive content there. So just another great way to support us is check us out, Rounding Third Baseball on Patreon. All right, Harrison, let's dive right into it. Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones make the Baseball Hall of Fame. Are these two a shock to you at all?
No, I mean, we've been very clear on the show all along. We've thought Andrew Jones was a Hall of Famer from the very beginning, and felt like Carlos Beltran was very deserving. I still think there's people on the ballot that are deserving, but these two guys for me were 1 and 2 on that ballot for guys that belonged in the Hall of Fame.
Hands down. I mean, we've been talking about Andrew Jones' defense for the last 5 years, it seems like. And it's like, how is this guy not getting any consideration? It's insane. Carlos Beltran's numbers are there. Now, however, we do have the little bit of a scandal behind us. So that was kind of his pullback or holdback, I guess. But I don't have an issue with it. What I do have an issue with is the hypocrisy of it. Now, listen, cheating is cheating in my eyes. I don't understand why steroids is held to a higher level of cheating than trash can beating, cocaine, amphetamines, greenies. I don't understand.
Smartwatches, whatever else they've used.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand like how they're not all on the same level. Listen, are they all wrong? Yes. Did steroids change the game? Yes. Sign stealing did too. You can't tell me that it didn't. So for me, it's the hypocrisy of the Hall of Fame that drives me absolutely bananas. And that's what I can't get behind. Is his numbers deserving to get in? Absolutely. Beltran was a beast. But in my eyes, cheating is cheating.
Yeah, and I think that's why it took him, as long as it did to get in. Is I think that for whatever reason, the Astro story comes out and guys like Altuve are implicated all over it. There's also the stories, but did he have the mic underneath his jersey that nobody's ever been able to prove or disprove? You've got Alex Cora gets a 1-year suspension, Hinch gets a 1-year suspension, Beltran gets nothing but kind of a smack upside the head. And yet, for some reason, I feel like he wears the biggest black mark of this whole incident. And yes, he played a big role in it, but not as big a role as some of the other guys. And yet he's the only guy that seems to have really caught any real flack for it. Did he cheat? Yes. Did he help in that whole process? Absolutely. But at the same time, so did a bunch of other guys who got little to no punishment for it.
Yeah, I just don't get it. For me, cheating is cheating, and I don't understand why steroids is held to a higher black mark than everything else. I really don't. So I mean, it is what it is, right? These two guys were beasts in their days. Andrew Jones, the best defensive center fielder I've seen in my lifetime, arguably maybe all time. I never got to see Willie Mays. I got to see Griffey. Griffey was unbelievable. Andrew Jones made everything look absolutely simple. And there's guys in the Hall of Fame just for their defense. A little bit of Andrew Jones' holdup was his batting average, right? Oh, his batting average is so low. It doesn't matter. 10 gold gloves in center field, 400 career home runs. What are we even talking about here? So I'm glad they finally got in.
Yeah, it was time. And there was so many arguments to put these guys in that it was hard to ignore it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of talked about this a little bit. How do we feel about the selections? But are they a product of the weak class, or are they actually deserving?
I mean, I feel like they are actually deserving. I feel like those guys should have gotten in. But I do think that they are also the product of a weak class. I mean, Beltran had 86% of the vote, 88% of the vote, something like that, and Andrew Jones was like 78 or 80% of the vote. They didn't blow it away. They cleared the hurdle, but it wasn't like they blew it away. So I think in a stronger class, you may not have seen them make it. I think their cases are definitely deserving, but they were not like blow you away candidates.
Yeah. People that are watching, I'm kind of watching your comments on Facebook on my phone. We can't see them in our studio right now, so we're trying to work that out. But we'll try to answer them as you guys are coming in. But yeah, is this where I come to talk about the Hall of Fame being a memorabilia museum? No more, no less. And I mean, Ryan, I think that's a fair point, right? I mean, we talk about Barry Bonds is in there, right? All his stuff is in there. He's got a full-on exhibit. Pete Rose has a full-on exhibit. And maybe that's what this is starting to become, right? It's no longer the elite of the elite. It hasn't been for a while. When you kind of let guys in like Harold Baines and people like that, where I get it, right? Longevity does matter to a point, but there's guys that have such extreme peaks that they also deserve to be recognized in the Hall of Greatness. Like,
Yep.
You can be the best in the game for 5 years and you're not considered a Hall of Famer. Like, that's still a decent stretch of time to dominate the game. And they just get looked over because they didn't do it for 20 years or they didn't play for 20 years. So,
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, as we've talked about in the show before, there are guys that are in the Hall of Fame because they had incredibly good careers. We have guys that are in the Hall of Fame because they had incredibly long careers, and we have guys that have not made the Hall of Fame because they had careers that were just too short. And it's unfortunate that sometimes the length of your career determines where you fit, and not necessarily how good you were. But at the same time, the Hall of Fame is about the body of work, and if the body of work is not enough, it's not enough. And being able to play for the long term is important.
Yeah. All right. So we got Mark says it's a weak class. So okay, we got one comment in there.
I mean, it's certainly not a strong ballot. I mean, there's a lot of people that were making that comment.
Yeah, and the next highest was what? Chase Utley, and it was like 50, like barely 50, I think.
Yeah. So see if I can't find the ballot results, but yeah, it was not. Again, like these guys, I think in a stronger class, one or both of them may have fallen underneath the 75%.
Yeah.
Because they did not like blow it out of the water.
No.
But I do think these guys didn't get in just because nobody else on the ballot. They got in because they do have resumes that justify it. It just they were not going to get in a tougher ballot.
Yeah, I agree. So Ryan Taylor sent me this, and I thought this was interesting. Jim Edmonds and an Andrew Jones comparison. And now this is kind of floating around social media too. So I've seen it a whole bunch of places, but he's the one that brought it to my attention. We put these guys side by side. Does Jim Edmonds have a case for the Hall for you?
I mean, again, body of work wise, yeah. I think that, Jim Edmonds is one of those guys who had a really, really good career. The hard part is he just didn't reach any of the major milestones, the big bright lines.
Yeah.
And that's what holds him back. And I do think there is still something to those bright lines of, 2,000 hits, 2,500 hits, 3,000 hits, 400 home runs, 450, 500, like those big hurdles. Edmonds didn't have any of those. Andrew Jones had the home runs. That was really kind of it for Andrew Jones, and not to mention a whole bunch of Gold Gloves, which Edmonds had his fair share too. But you could definitely make a case for Jim Edmonds to be considered for the Hall of Fame. He just doesn't have any of those big headline numbers.
Yep. And that's what it is, right? I mean, if he gets 10 gold gloves, now we're in the conversation, right? He's got 8. I'm not saying that's awful or bad. 8's ridiculous. We all know what kind of defender Jim Edmonds is. 284 average. I mean, we're 30 points higher than Andrew Jones. The glaring note for me, and Ryan pointed this out too, is he goes, I was today years old when I found out that neither one has 2,000 hits, which is pretty crazy.
I would have thought Edmonds would have 2,000 hits. Granted, he's 51 hits off, but still,
Right.
like, I feel like when you look at the 284 batting average and all that, you're like, man, he's got to have those hits, right? But what's interesting is he played 185 fewer games than Andrew Jones, like one whole season less than Andrew Jones. And Andrew Jones didn't have the longest career either. He was a skeleton by 33 and had a baseball at 35.
Yeah.
Like neither one of these guys had super long careers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but I think you nailed it, right? It's the milestone numbers, if you will, the automatic bids or the ones that give you consideration to get in. And he didn't quite get to 400. So that's what it is. And I know the Hall of Stats, right? Someone said it, I think last show, it's like not the Hall of Fame, it's the Hall of Stats or vice versa, whatever. Like if you don't reach those milestones, you don't get a second look, unfortunately. So kind of terrible, but it's the Hall of Fame. Again, we're kind of almost done with the Hall of Fame and how they select players. I don't know how they change it at this point because we don't know how players get in or why they get in, what the criteria is. We're just kind of left in the dark.
Well, and I feel like, every time we bring this up, it's like, what's the criteria? I don't think anybody knows. I don't think there necessarily is a criteria anymore. I think it's, so often it's what these guys think about them and their run-ins with them, their conversations with them, how they made them feel. It's like, it's kind of silly.
Yeah. I mean, Michael, I do agree with this point, right? Edmonds played so shallow and had to make diving plays to make those catches. Andrew makes the same catch on a trot or just a straight on basket catch. He made center field look like a playground. It's crazy, right? Brandon says Andrew Jones is weird on paper, not a Hall of Famer, but by the eye test was so great. Maybe because I'm a Braves fan, I'm a homer, but that's how I felt. I think that's how everyone felt. He just made the position look so simple.
But again, we've talked about that too. Well, we talked about that last week. The problem with Andrew Jones, he doesn't get enough credit for his defense because he got to balls that most guys were making crazy dives to even try to reach, and he was camped out underneath it. I mean, I was watching a reel of some catches of his earlier today, and these are balls that are smoked, into the gaps, to the walls, and he's not diving. He's just under it. He's coasting underneath it. And like off the bat, you're like, there's no way he gets that. And then as the ball comes down, he's just coasting underneath it. And it's like, oh, boom, I'm there. No big deal. Where other guys are like lunging and diving and probably still missing it.
Yeah.
Like he made it look so easy that it almost in a way downplays his defense because it didn't look hard.
No. Curtis, yeah, the starting pitching class will get real thin in the next 10 years. And
bad.
I was on a roundtable discussion with Romantic about baseball last night, and we were talking about like, when does the Hall of Fame have to change its criteria to fit the Hall of Fame, especially when it comes to starting pitching, right? We're never going to see a 300 game winner again. We're never going to see 3,000 strikeouts again. We're never going to see, rarely a 20 game winner now. When does the Hall of Fame start to recognize that and dial back their criteria to get in? I don't know.
I think it's going to naturally happen. I mean, otherwise you're going to start electing nobody. And I do agree, you're not going to see those same pitcher metrics anymore. You're going to have to accept the fact that a guy winning 200 games is a really big deal.
Like Verlander is probably the last one, right?
He's the last guy with even a shot.
Right.
And in reality, he probably doesn't get there.
Right. I mean, he's got the 3,000 Ks, which is an automatic bid. Same with Kershaw,
Sure.
but 300 wins is out of the question. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
And we may not ever see it again.
Oh no.
And that's okay. You know, the game has changed, but the hard part is because of that you're also going to have to lower the benchmark for the Hall of Fame, or just accept the fact that you may go a generation with very few guys that qualify.
Yep.
I mean,
Quality.
you either water down the Hall of Fame to accept the fact the game is different, or you keep the same standard and basically have the next generation of pitchers not make it.
Yeah. Quality starts and Ks. You know, we've talked about quality starts versus wins as a measuring metric now. I think that could be a thing because pitchers have to go 7 innings to get a quality start now. So, I mean, or is it 6? I still
It's
don't know.
6.
It's 6 or it's 6. So
6
whatever.
and less than 3 runs.
Yeah. So maybe that is a metric that they start measuring. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
But even then, the hard part is that these guys just don't make enough starts.
No.
And so many times they don't go 6 innings. Like quality starts will become a tougher metric because a lot of these guys don't go 6.
Yep.
They go 5. They go 5 1/3. I mean, hell, Blake Snell won a Cy Young going 5 1/3 on average.
Yeah.
I just this era of pitcher was not built for stats. Like these guys were not built for longevity and to pile up stats. They are built for short-term bursts, and that was it.
Yeah. It's fair.
It's the Hall of Fame is going to look really weird in 20 years.
It is for sure.
Because you're gonna either have nobody in there that's new, or you're gonna have a bunch of guys that really don't belong.
Yep. All right, let's get into the New York Mets here. They have been really busy. Luis Robert Jr., you know, we have heard his name come up in trade talks forever. Now he finally gets dealt to the Mets for Luis Angel Acuna. Now, Acuna didn't have a shot playing this year with the infield the way it is. There's 6 guys competing for 4 spots. There's no way Acuna was going to see playing time. So, yes, right. This is the outfielder they needed, you know, with Bellinger re-signing with the Yankees, which we'll get to in a little bit, which I actually think I forgot to put in the slide. But anyways, yeah, so this is a decent move for the Mets. Let's see if Robert kind of rejuvenates his career here. What are your thoughts on that?
Luis Robert might be one of the most talented guys I've watched, but he can't get on the field. It doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter. The guy is unbelievably talented, but he's completely unavailable for most of the season. And it almost doesn't matter what he can do because he just can't stay on the field. And you know, he reminds me a lot of like the Byron Buxton type guy who can do a lot of things, can do it all, but he can't get on the field. And if he can't get on the field, the skills don't matter.
Yeah, when he first came up, we talked about him possibly having the tools to be the next Mike Trout, right? His defense was there, the power, the stick. And I mean, maybe he lost all ambition being in Chicago. I don't know. I can't imagine it's easy to play for that franchise. I really can't. But I think this is a good piece for the Mets. He's gonna get some protection in that lineup, and I think it could work out for them. I really do.
Yeah, I would love to see Luis Robert play like a real full season. I mean, he's played 145 games, 100 games, 110 games the last 3 years. And realistically, skill wise, 24 and 25, his stats were terrible. But he also was not healthy for big chunks of it. Although he was playing, he wasn't really healthy. The numbers took a huge dive. I mean, a sub 300 OBP. There's just so many holes in his game. But at the same time, in 2023, this was a guy who was like, wow, 38. He hit 264 with 38 and 80, stole 20 bases. You know, he was getting all-star. He's getting MVP consideration, was an all-star that year. The guy's got incredible talent. He just hasn't shown it since 2023.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting for the Mets there. We'll see if it works out for them. And then Freddie Peralta traded to the Mets for Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. There's others in the deal, other prospects. Mets needed pitching. They went and got it. How are we feeling about this?
I mean, it's a great trade for the Mets because they finally addressed the pitching. They gave up a lot to get him, though. Brandon Sproat has got legit MLB starter stuff. Jet Williams is a very highly rated young player from the minors, very highly rated prospect. And that trade alone just moved the Brewers farm system up into the top three in all of baseball because Jet Williams is considered to be that highest ceiling prospect. It's the Mets gave up a lot, but they had to because they had to go get a pitcher, and they were not going to pay the guys that were out there. They've been very clear. They spent their money where they spent their money. Soto, Bichette, and there's really not much left. So they got to get creative.
Yeah, this was a kind of a desperation move. I'm with you. But I think it definitely helps that team. I mean, you went and made your team better with all these moves, no doubt. And I think if I have to, I'm putting the Mets in at least the wild card now. I mean, it's hard to look at that team on paper and say they don't have a shot to at least really compete. I mean, maybe even for the division, because like I've said, like, I don't know if I can trust the Braves staying healthy. Like, I really don't know if I can. So I'm kind of putting the Mets up there for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not buying in on the Mets because I don't know who pitches after Peralta that you've got any faith in. You've got some guys that have shown they can pitch. You got Clay Holmes, who surprised us all last year. You've got Maniac, who might be right at some point. Cody Senga was a disaster. McLean looked great at times. You got the other young kids, but like you don't have a lot of confidence in that rotation beyond Peralta. And keep in mind too, Peralta's a free agent at the end of this year. He may just be a 1-year rental. And if I'm him, I might tell the Mets, I don't want to talk extension until I see what we actually have going on here.
That's a great point. To give up what you gave up for a 1-year rental might be kind of steep on the Mets part, but
yeah, you gave up a lot.
You did. However, I just, the Mets are going for it. Like, this is them being like all in. And Steve Cohen, as we've seen in the past, if it doesn't work, he just blows it up again and tries it again next offseason. So,
right.
Like, there's that. But again, it gives the Mets another piece that they needed. I'm kind of with you. Like, I know I said that maybe they're at the top of the division there. And it's just mostly for me is I don't know about the Braves. I definitely don't know about the Phillies. Marlins are there. Nationals are there. And we'll get to the Nationals in a minute. But I think it's almost lack of other teams there. And we're sitting there talking about the NL East being a gauntlet with those top three teams. But I mean, as we saw, we talked about the Braves last week. They're already starting the injury train. And the season hasn't even started. So I can't trust them. I can't trust them to stay healthy. And I mean, there are some guys on the Mets that are also injury prone. So we'll see what happens. 162 games is a long time and things will play out. So
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's a move the Mets had to make. It's a big overpay in my mind, but it's that or you go sign Framber Valdez, which it sounds like right now there's nobody in on Valdez. He is out there in Never Land.
Yeah. And chat's with us. Worth it if they extend him. If not, no. And then Ryan backs that up. If he doesn't sign, the Mets got fleeced 1,000%. And Curtis, this is fair, right? Pet's trying to compete. I still don't trust their manager. That's another story that's been kind of floating around too.
Yeah, I don't trust their pitching staff or their bullpen. There's nothing about their pitching that makes me think, yeah, this is a team that's going to be really good all year. This is a team that I think is going to struggle.
I think with them, it could be identity. There's now a lot of egos in that clubhouse, right? You have Soto, who's already supposedly bumping heads with Lindor. Lindor is still there. You bring in a huge free agent with Bo Bichette. I mean, I don't see him as a big ego guy. Luis Robert, you don't really know what you're going to get there. Marcus Simeon's a seasoned veteran. You just have a mixed bag of guys that are just kind of dumped on this roster to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's an interesting clubhouse for sure. You've really turned over the old guard with Alonso and Nimmo, Diaz. Some of those guys have been there a little while, and replaced it with guys that are very different in skill set, leadership. It's going to be interesting in New York because I think they've made some good moves. I think they've still got some big holes. Luis Robert doesn't move the needle for me because I just don't think he's going to play much. Freddie Peralta to me is the big fish you had to go get, but I still think they got a lot of work to do, and I think this team could very easily underperform.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, it's just another team. We keep saying it. We just can't trust them. So NL East is going to be interesting to watch just because the top three teams in that league, we don't know how it's going to play out.
Nope.
Do the Marlins take advantage of that? I know that might be a silly question, but can the Marlins sneak in and take full advantage of these three teams trying to figure out who they are?
I mean, if ever the door was open for the Marlins to kind of sneak in, this is probably the season. You've got the Mets who are on shaky footing. You've got the Phillies that are in a bit of a transition. And Dombrowski even said it, like we've turned over more of this roster than we get credit for. We're not just running it back, but we get the fact that there's some change here. We've got to figure that out. So, I mean, I think the Phillies. I think the Phillies are not as good as they were. I think the Mets are not as good as they were. I think the Braves could be unbelievable if they can stay healthy, but it could be open. The Marlins could find a way to sneak in and be a relevant team in that division.
You don't think the Mets got better?
No. From last year?
Yeah.
I don't think this is a better team than last year.
Okay. I would say on paper they are. I mean, you added some pieces that are like proven guys, veterans. Are some of them on the downside? Yeah. But I don't know if I can sit here and say the Mets didn't get better.
Well, so you lost Alonso and replaced him with Polanco.
That's fair.
That one hurts. You traded off Jeff McNeil, replaced him with Simeon positionally. So probably, Simeon's probably a small upgrade there. Lindor is still there. You got Bichette to play third, and I think that's not going to work out great. But he'll play third and he'll hit. So he's a slight upgrade. You've got nobody in the outfield. You got Nimmo's gone. You got no replacement for Nimmo. Luis Robert, you can miss me with that. I have no faith that guy does anything for you.
I'm with you.
I look at it and I go, I think best case scenario, this team is the same as they were last year.
Okay.
Worst case, I think they're a little bit. I don't think they're quite as good. And Devin Williams and Luke Weaver and all the other nonsense they've signed in the bullpen, fine. Good luck with that. That's going to be real fun. You went from Edwin Diaz, who was arguably the best closer in baseball last year, to Devin Williams, who lost the closer role not once but twice last year.
Yeah,
across town. It's not great. And you've got Freddie Peralta, which is awesome, but you just don't have much behind him.
Yeah, and that's fair. Are you gonna get a repeat season out of Clay Holmes that you got last year? I
doubt it.
Yeah, I want to be optimistic and say yes. And he thrived in that starter role. But I don't know. I really don't. It's a tough one.
So, I mean, could this team be better? Yeah, I mean, they've made some moves that are definitely improvements, but they've also left some big holes that they got to find a way to fill.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And I think moving out Acuna, not to go backwards, but Acuna was a guy who had flexibility for you. He could play all over the place. And I think that the Mets are trying to treat this like, oh, like there wasn't room for him anyways, and we were able to like fleece the White Sox into taking him for Robert because we were gonna have to like DFA him anyways. It's like you weren't. Like he was going to play for you next year. He may have been in the outfield, he may have been in the infield. I mean, hell, the dude might have been catching for all I know. But like you were going to use him.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little challenging to be like, oh no, there's no room for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the piece too, right? Cohen's competing with the Dodgers, trying to make a makeshift all-star team, right? I agree with this, right? He's trying to by himself stay up with the Dodgers spending, and that's first of all, for him to be able to try to do it is insane. But you're right, he's kind of taken the next top tier free agents and putting them on this team. That's another thing that, like, I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole if we want. We don't have to, but the market's broken, right? When only 6 or 7 teams can legit sign these free agents, right? These top tier free agents can only go to one of these 7 teams because the other 20 can't afford them, right? The other 23 teams are like, yeah, we're out from the beginning. We don't have a chance at these top tier free agents. If you're not the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Phillies, maybe the Cubs,
the Chicagos,
you don't have a shot. And that's what's broken about the free agent market right now. If you aren't those 7 teams, you can kiss goodbye to free agency. So let's just wheel and deal. So crazy.
Yeah. And then before we jump off the Mets, did you see the Bo Bichette press conference at all?
A little bit. I saw clips of it.
So one of the reporters basically came right out and said, Bo, you've got this incredibly, rich contract with these great opt-outs and options. What leads us to believe this isn't just a 1-year deal for you? And Bo froze. He looked at the reporter, looked over at the other guys, looked at the reporter, looked at the other guys, and just kind of went like, who's going to take this? And I can't remember who ended up answering it, but whoever was sitting to his left answered it. But like he froze. And everybody's like, oh, so he's basically like telling you with this look on his face, it's a 1-year deal. He's not planning to stick around.
No.
And they answered it as, they wanted to give him flexibility and lockout and blah, blah, blah. Like they gave all the same like political nonsense answers, but like Bo was flat out like, I can't answer this. Like, I can't answer this question. And it was so funny just to watch him freeze.
That is funny. I mean, we said it when he signed it. This is Alex Bregman 2.0. These one and done. That's it. End of story.
And I have to believe Mets fans and the Mets media saw the Bregman situation and figure, well, why isn't this exactly the same thing? Like the contract is almost identical. It's a 3-year deal with opt-outs at the end of years 1 and 2. Like every single year he gets to decide if he's staying. He's definitely not staying.
No. I mean, unless the Mets miraculously make a deep run to the postseason, that would be probably his only way he's going to stay, right? I mean, other than that, depending on how this year unfolds, he's gone after this year. And why not retest the market? However, with the impending lockout, do you just sign up for your $42 million next year? It gives him a little bit of options.
It does. So he's got to make that decision, I think, before the lockout happens. But based on where baseball's at and what the tone of those conversations are as they start up next year, you'll get a pretty good sense of where it's going. And you might just want to say, yeah, give me the $42 million. I'll come back one more time because I don't know what life's going to be like at the back end of this.
Yeah. The organization feels like a soap opera. Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Curtis, no doubt Bo was looking for his agent. He's like, hey, anybody, Bueller?
Yeah, and it might have been his agent that answered. I couldn't see who answered because it was in real format. So I cut off all the people to his side, but I couldn't see who answered, but somebody answered for him. And it was very, very much a like rehearsed, let's not say anything, but use a bunch of words to do it. It was bad. Yeah. But, and that was the takeaway. Like Mets fans and the media were like, so it's a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Read the language and that it's a 1-year deal. He does not want to be here.
No. And Mike, this is going to be interesting when it is time for these guys to opt in and opt out.
Yep.
What it's going to look like with the inevitable 2027 lockout. I don't know what players are going to do. Do you take a chance that contracts stay the same? Do you take a chance that you opt in and you win that gamble because they cut, they put a cap on, they got to get these contracts under? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. So interesting.
Well, we shall see. And Curtis, I think you're totally right. It's, loyal to the bread, not to the hat on his head. Boba Fett took the best deal and isn't even hiding the fact that he just took the best deal. I mean, apparently he and the Phillies, like, they had agreed in principle, according to Dombrowski, they had an agreement, 7 years, $200 million. He was going to be a Philly. They were drawing up the paperwork, and Bo called to say, "Hey, change of plans. We're going to New York. Bye."
Yeah.
And Dombrowski's like, I can't say that I blame him until we sign something that doesn't matter. But we were there. Like, we were at the finish line together.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when someone hands a $42 million check and drops it in your lap to just be like, no, thanks. I can't even imagine the type of pressure or decision making it takes to do that.
I mean, it's life changing.
Yeah. Well, Bo goes out and plays his butt off this year, and he gets that 7-year deal again. Now his career is extended by another year. So maybe that's what he's thinking, but we'll see.
Yeah, and he turns 28 when the season starts. So he'll go back out when he's 29. It's not like he's, right, in Bregman's spot where like another 1-year deal would have felt terrible because then you're going back out to the free agency as a 34-year-old.
Right.
Like, he's got all kinds of time.
Yeah.
But he's got to perform. He's got to show that he can be healthy again.
Exactly. All right. This one today was interesting to me. I don't know whether to make heads or tails of this one, but Mackenzie Gore traded to the Rangers for 5 prospects. Gavin Feen, I'm not even going to try that first name, Ortiz, Devin Fitzgerald, Alejandro Rosario, and Yeremy Cabrera. In a rebuild, quote unquote, what is your take on this deal?
You traded a boatload of your better prospects for Mackenzie Gore. So if you're rebuilding, you would have wanted prospects, and you just traded them all, which tells me that maybe the rebuild's on hold and you're going to try to build, because that rotation, DeGrom, Eovaldi, Gore, that's a pretty legit rotation, 1 through 3.
Yeah.
You could do a lot worse.
And you got Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker in the 4 or 5
who will be your 4 and 5. So, I mean, that could end up being one of the 5 or 6 best rotations in baseball.
Yeah.
But that's not a move I expect them to make going into rebuild where they traded a bunch of top prospects.
Agree. Yes, Michael Simpson, Moyer was involved in this trade. As you can see, he's in the middle there. So yeah, that's him. Yeah, this one, Ryan, I was just going to say, it's wild to me. First of all, listen, Mackenzie Gore is 26, so he's young, right? Got probably a couple of years of control there. Got crazy strikeout stuff. 5 prospects is nuts to me. I know a few years ago, Luis Castillo got 4 from the Mariners in that deal. But 5 in a rebuild to me is a little head scratching. Like, if you're still possibly trying to shop Corey Seager from rumors out there. So like, if you're in a rebuild, why would you make this deal? Like, one of these 5 prospects coming up at some point could make a huge impact on your organization. And if you're rebuilding, you have nothing but time. Why are you trading away the farm for a pitcher that doesn't do much for you except solidify your rotation? But if the Rangers scores 0 runs a game, your pitching's not going to matter.
No. And he's so Mackenzie Gore's a free agent in 2028. So you've got 3 years of control.
Okay. So that's fair.
26, 27, 28. So yeah, 3 years of control. for a guy who is 26. He turns 27 before the season starts. But at the same time, this is a guy who had a 4+ ERA last year. It was 5-15. Granted, to Nationals, I get it. But a 1.35 WHIP. Like at the end of the day, it was not like a super impressive season. He was good, but he wasn't great. And you gave up 5 of your top 20 prospects for this guy. You gave it. So Gavin Fine, number 2, Alejandro Rosario, number 6, Devin Fitzgerald, number 12, Yarmy Cabrera, number 16, and Abimelech Ortiz, number 18. 5 of your top 20 prospects to go get this guy who was pretty good last year. That's a pretty hefty overpay. And the Nationals are pumped. Like they just reloaded the system.
Yeah.
They're pumped, as they should be.
Yep.
That rotation, if Mackenzie Gore is even just what he was last year, he's probably a 12-win, 13-win pitcher for them, pitching in the 3 spot. That's a pretty good rotation. But that's not a move you'd make in a rebuild, and you would not give up that much value if you thought your future was going to be rebuilding from within.
Right. East Coast is, he thinks it is a good move for the Rangers, and sure, it makes the Rangers better, but it doesn't make the Rangers better for the future. If Mackenzie Gore goes in there for 3 years and is lights out, the Rangers aren't re-signing him. He's gone. He's a free agency. Bye.
Yeah.
And these guys, these 5 guys, are probably slated to be at your MLB level at that point.
Yep.
And now they're gone. So now you've mortgaged your future for nothing. And if this was a move to put the Rangers over the top, absolutely agree with it. Yes, go get them. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But this doesn't move the Rangers up in the standings at all.
It does not.
Weird.
And Curtis, you were totally right. The Texas had good pitching last year. They just couldn't score any runs. No. Like that was an offense that was absolutely putrid. They just disappeared for most of the season. If the Rangers think they're going to compete, Mackenzie Gore is not the piece to get you there. Like he's nice, but you got to go find some guys that can hit. You've lost Semien
on the ball.
Right. You've lost Semien. You brought in Nimmo as a nice piece. Dolis Garcia gone, Heim gone. Like some of the guys that were core parts of your offense are now gone. And somehow you think you're going to be just as good, if not better.
Yeah. And the rumors of Corey Seager flying around here. Possibly in a trade to get him out. So
I can't imagine you can trade him now. Because if you make this trade for Gore and then you trade Seager, people are going to try to figure out what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Unless it's to try to get your prospects back.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, bring back 2 or 3 players that fill other holes and maybe can balance you out. But that's a tough one. That's a tough contract to trade.
Yeah. It's just, it's a weird one. This was a weird deal. When this came across my phone this afternoon, I was like, I don't get this one. This one's a head scratcher to me.
Made no sense. I did not see this as an option.
Yep. All right. Ken Rosenthal said the Red Sox seemed fine with putting Marcelo Meyer at third and seeking a trade for a second baseman. And the 2 names he brought up was Nico Horner, who may or may not be on the trade block. We're not sure. And Brendan Donovan. So the Red Sox kind of exploring the Cardinals route again. Now, this is just what Rosenthal said. There's nothing necessarily floating around, but he says that the Red Sox are pretty set with Meyer being your third baseman. For me, instead of kind of doing this the complicated way, why don't you just sign Gino Suarez, who's still out there, and just leave Meyer at second base? I kind of don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean, the easier solution is exactly that. Go get Gino for a couple of years, put Marcelo Meyer at second, call it a day. Or, I mean, and I'm fine with Marcelo Meyer at third, but that's a good-sized trade you're going to make, I think, to get back either Horner or Donovan. Those are not guys who are going to come cheap.
No.
So, what's the package? How long are they going to be there for? And 1 minute Nico Horner's available, the next minute the Cubs are talking about trying to extend him. I don't know what the situation is, but everybody right now is saying around Chicago that you cannot trade this guy. Like you've got to find a way to keep him. He becomes an incredibly important piece.
Well, you arguably have one of the best infields in the majors with adding Bregman.
Yeah.
Bregman, Swanson, Horner, and Bush. I mean, doesn't get much more productive than those four. You take Horner out of there, who's a ridiculous second baseman. It makes the Cubs off-season improvements and just throws them out. Like they brought in Cabrera, they brought in Bregman, and then just to throw out Horner would be kind of silly in my eyes. But which way do you see the Red Sox actually going?
I mean, my gut tells me they're going to do nothing. And you're going to end up with either like Rafaela as your second baseman with Meyer at third, or you're going to see Christian Campbell back up again at second base and Meyer at third, or maybe you trade off an outfielder, but even then I think that'd be hard to do. I don't think you see the Red Sox make a move. I think they're going to go to spring training and try to figure out how to fit these guys all in.
Just sign Gino. That's your fix. That's it.
It's the easiest one. You're you're not talking a big commitment. You're probably talking 2 years, 40 million gets it done, and he just comes and hits bombs.
Yeah. East Coast, I'm with you. I love Donovan, right?
Oh yeah.
But we don't need another left-handed hitter. We don't. Like, stop with the lefties. Stop. Fenway Park is a right-handed hitter's ballpark. What are we even doing? Just loading up this lineup with lefties. It makes zero sense to me. Is Gino Suarez going to strike out 250 times in a season? You betcha. Is he going to go deep 40-plus times in a season? You betcha, especially at Fenway Park. Just sign the man. Give him what he wants. And it fixes a lot of issues. You've been looking for a right-handed power bat for a long time. Ever since we talked about JD Martinez. We haven't seen a legit right-handed hitter at Fenway Park. What are they even doing? Like, I love Donovan as a player. He just doesn't quite fit in Boston because he's another left-handed swing. So just sign Gino and call it a day.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, and there's also rumors the Red Sox have been talking to the Astros about Isaac Paredes.
No.
I'm not sure if Paredes is really actually even available. And, Paredes wouldn't be a bad player to add, but honestly, like if you're not going to get a guy like Gino or make a trade for a Donovan or a Horner, like somebody who's, really, really legit, then I would rather just see you go to spring training and sort this thing out.
I mean,
put Meyer at third, find a second baseman amongst that group. Maybe it's Rafaela, maybe it's, who knows? Maybe it's somebody we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah. And yes, Mike, I get it, right? They probably don't want the strikeouts in that lineup, but
Probably
if you want the power numbers, you're gonna have to live with the strikeouts. And Gino's got the power numbers. It's what that team has been missing. That team has been missing a 35 to 40 home run guy for quite some time now. Right? You just shipped the last one we had out to San Francisco, right? All that side story aside, but that's the last guy. We don't have another guy that's like that. Will Roman Anthony grow into that? Maybe. He's not quite there yet.
And he's left-handed.
And he's left-handed.
Where's your righty?
Yeah. So, interesting.
Not to mention the Red Sox also have Yoshida, who kind of makes this whole thing complicated as well.
Don't even get me started on that guy. All right. Well, speaking of another...
He was pretty big down the stretch in the playoffs for the Sox, so we got to give Yoshida some love.
True. All right. Staying with the lefties, Cody Bellinger re-signs with the Yankees, 5 years, $162 million. Cool. That saga's over. But good for the Yankees not budging on what they offered. The Yankees stuck hard, and they're like, nope, this is what it is. If you want it, come and get it. If not, oh well. No other team was going to pay Cody Bellinger the $39 million he was seeking.
Yeah, he was seeking 37 to 40. That was apparently the range he was in, which is laughable.
Yeah. So how is this for the Yankees? does he fill the need for the New York Yankees? And does it make them the same team they were last year? Does it improve their team? What does Cody Bellinger do for them?
I mean, it's you look at that lineup, that projected lineup with him now in it. It's basically exactly what they rolled out last year. It's Grisham and Bellinger and Judge and Wells and Jazz and Ben Wright. Like it's the exact same lineup. Um, the pitching staff should be healthier at some point next year. The Yankees, or I should say sometime this year, because it's actually this season now. The Yankees, I think, are going to be fine. They're going to be a playoff team. But they've done nothing in this offseason that makes me think that they're any better than they were last year.
Yeah, other than getting rid of their bullpen arms.
If anything, you could say they've gotten better by emptying their bullpen, but they've replaced them with nobody.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Which improved their team.
Yeah, which maybe is still a better thing than the guys you had.
Yeah. East Coast, I agree, right? This is the definition of a Yankee Stadium hitter, Cody Bellinger, right now at this stage of his career. And Curtis, with you, hopefully he's not inconsistent. And I think that's the red flag for me with Cody Bellinger is which one are you going to get this year? We've seen the guy almost put up 50 in Chavez Ravine when he was younger, right? When he first came up, to put up 49 home runs in that ballpark is something else. It's a bomb to get it out of there, right?
It is.
And then he goes to the Cubs and has a terrible year, then backs it up with a good year, and we're just kind of all over the place. And for him to value himself at $39 million, I was just like, damn, that's a lot. For someone that's not consistent. Crazy. But, good for the Yankees here. Like you said, I don't think they got better. I don't think they got worse. They're just kind of maintaining status quo. They'll be in the playoffs. They'll bounce a team, probably the Red Sox again, and then, call it a season. But good for them.
And I will say, you had Boris, who was adamant they were going to hold their line and blah, blah, blah. Boris lost again. Boris has had a tough few years in the free agent market with not getting these guys what he thinks he can get them. I'm not sure if teams are just tired of playing his game. I'm not sure if he's just trying to flex his muscles and his ego to try to get more than they actually are worth, or if he's lost his fastball. But Boris used to be the guy that commanded the market, and it's not the case anymore. He is settling, and that's not normal.
Yeah. We've brought up Boris, quite a bit on this podcast, especially during the off season, and his misreading of the market, it almost seems like, because he has cost some free agents jobs, and in Jordan Montgomery's case, almost his career, I would say. Like, he has butchered a lot of these guys in the offseason, and I think you hit it. I think the teams are starting to get tired of his antics, right? Just what is your player seeking? Tell us. We might go up, or we might just say, there's the door. Like, we have a value in our head, and if it's not close to what we're valuing or what you're valuing, we're not getting a deal done. This is our line. This is it. We're not playing your game anymore. So I think teams are done with it, to be completely honest. That's fans' perspective outside looking in. I don't know what each team thinks. He probably has better relationships with different organizations, right?
Probably.
Just like everybody.
Probably.
But if it's me, like, I'm tired of him trying to keep pushing the line. Like, no, dude, this is our budget. This is it. Take it or leave it. So.
Yeah, and I think teams have done that, and he's had to blink. And
yep.
He doesn't command the market like he used to. Things have changed.
Yep. Yeah. Mr. Clam says, in recent years, he has caused his clients millions of dollars. He has asked many free agents to test the waters when they probably should have just signed offers from their original team. Yep, definitely. So, I don't know. Crazy. But good for the Yanks getting him back. That was a piece they definitely, desperately needed. So, good for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, they're gonna run it back, basically.
Yep. All right. So I want to bring this back up to bring the market back because I kind of got into it with another page on Facebook a little bit. And they were a Dodgers page. And, like I hate to hate on the Dodgers, but this kind of just goes in what everybody's talking about, right?
You lost me at
And
Dodgers page.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Um,
Because
and
those people are completely out of touch with reality right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the your team could do it too argument and give you the mic drop here because he sends me the last 20 winners of the World Series and he said, "See, small market teams can do it too." And I go, "Buddy, you just proved my point. You look at this list. Cardinals, Red Sox, Phillies, Yankees, Giants, Cardinals, Giants, Red Sox, Giants. We have the Kansas City Royals. Do you see them again on this list, Harrison? Nope.
No.
One and done, right? So they bought the World Series. They're gone, right? Cubs, big market team. Yes, they don't show up again, but Astros again, Red Sox, Nationals, 2019. They buy the World Series. What happens to them? They almost go bankrupt.
Almost went bankrupt and had to dump everybody.
Yeah. So Dodgers, Braves, Astros, Texas Rangers, 2023. What happened to them? Where are they right now?
Yeah, fell apart. They bought it and fell apart.
Dodgers. Now, when your team can do it too, yes, your team can buy a World Series, right? But then you have 20 years that you have set back your organization until you can compete again. You literally have to start from the foundation up in order to get back to the top. These other big market teams can have this sustained success throughout this 20-year span, right? So when your team could do it too, yeah, sure, they can only once. And then the owners lose money for 20 years, right? I mean, so they can't. That's the argument. They can't do this more than once in a 20-year span like these other big market teams can. And that's where the discrepancy is. And I brought it up earlier in the show about the free agents, right? All these teams on this list, minus the Royals, minus the Nationals, I mean, I guess you could say the Rangers to an extent, can sign top tier free agents. Everybody else on this list can. The other 23 can't.
Yeah, and the World Series winner, I think we looked at the stats. The World Series winner was in the top 5 of payroll, was like 65% of the time, and top 10, 85% of the time.
Yeah.
And inside the top 15, all but one.
Right. Yeah. And Michael, I didn't even put the White Sox on this list, but you're right. 2005, Chicago White Sox also haven't sniffed anything since. And Ryan, I get this, right? The Cardinals didn't buy any of their titles development, a few key free agents. Correct. I agree with you, but they're considered a big market team. So that's why they're in here. But yes, teams have developed, they have had free agencies, but the thing is if those teams miss on those on a given year, they can bounce right back. If one of these small market teams miss, they're done for the next 5 or 6, right? They can't bounce back at the same rate that a top tier market can. And that's what kind of this list kind of proves to me anyways.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it shows you exactly. Those are primarily big market teams, primarily in the upper echelon of payroll, and in many cases formed by a combination of big free agent signings and some player development, but a good balance. But you don't see, to Curtis's point, you don't see any of the small market teams at all.
No.
They don't exist. They don't exist when it comes to the World Series.
Nope. And as much quote unquote parity baseball prides themselves in, yes, we've had a different World Series winner from 2001 till 2024 or 2025, you should say. There isn't parity. It's the same 8 to 10 teams in the playoffs. Yeah, the Reds snuck in this year for the first time in forever, but there's not much parity. Yeah, there's parity in the wild card spot every year, but that's it. That's it. So It was an argument where they were trying to prove a point and it kind of backfired on them. And I was like, no, like, look at this again. These teams don't show back up. They spent and almost went bankrupt. They set their organization back 20 years. And they're still trying to recover. The Royals are still trying to catch up 11 years later. So,
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and to Curtis's point, we've seen Tampa appear in the World Series, but lost to a bigger, better, better funded team. We've seen some of these smaller market teams make a run, but it's very few and far between that these smaller guys get in the playoffs and actually make any kind of run deep into the playoffs.
And then be able to bounce back. Like that's mostly my point, right? Yes, they can get there. Yes, they can make a legit chance, but you don't see them the next year. They're done. They have to reset everything. These other big market teams can come right back at you the next year, and then the year after that, and the year after that, because they can backfill what they need. These other small market teams can't. So long story long, not every team can do what the Dodgers are doing, or the Mets for that matter. Neither one. So that's my point. Anyways, off my soapbox for a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, and Forrest, a Brewers World Series championship would explode baseball. It would, and we talked about it going to this playoff. Like, we would have loved to have seen the Mariners and the Brewers in the World Series. MLB would have hated that, and in reality, neither one of those teams is going to be able to make that run. They were close, but you're going up against you're well-funded juggernauts.
Yep. Yeah, this is the two more teams, Michael, right? Marlins haven't recovered since 2003. Angels wasted Trout and Ohtani, haven't done anything since 2002. So they got their world championship and they're still trying to dig out. The Mets just can't get on this list. And I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, no MVPs, no recent World Series titles, like brutal.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we're obviously going to keep tracking this throughout the year because as the lockout's coming up, I'm sure more of this stuff is going to come out. But the worst thing that can happen going into the lockout, I think we said it on Thursday or Sunday. All my days are mixed up. Sorry. Is the Dodgers to three-peat. If the Dodgers three-peat, owners are just going to throw up their hands and be like, okay, like we're done. We're done.
Yeah, and I was looking at there's a New York Times article just about the fact like many of the owners are basically saying, salary cap or bust. We are willing to die on that hill. And that is the path we're heading down. I'll put the link to the article in the chat, but you've got a lot of owners that have just are going scorched earth right now to say, we're done. We are going to hold out for a salary cap. Like this is the time to make this push.
There's no other time to do it. Like their backs are against the wall. They have to cap this. It's out of control.
Yep.
And I'm not even talking solely about the Dodgers. I'm talking about the Mets too. Like Steve Cohen should not be able to just dump $500 million into his team, throw it all away, lose $300 million, and then dump another $500 million the next year, right? So the Mets are in this category too. The Yankees, Red Sox, like all those top tier markets are to blame for this because you have left the other 23 in the dust. They can't compete. Now, I get it's a professional league. Everybody should be able to compete, right? They're all pros across the board. But this is a different argument. People are playing with the best equipment and others are playing with sticks, and I don't even know what comparison I'm trying to make, but they're playing two totally different games. The top 7 teams and the bottom 23 are playing two totally different games.
Yeah, the rules are different, the structure is different, the approach is different, everything's different because they don't have the same ability to do the same things. It's very, very different.
Yeah.
And then you combine that with the fact that you have Andrew Friedman, who's incredibly brilliant and has all this at his disposal, and it's almost not fair.
Right. Mr. Clams, he was talking to some friends today, and it seems like baseball fans as a whole already know the outcome of the World Series, and it's only January and no baseball in 2027. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's baseball. Anything can happen. The Dodgers can go in and get swept, right? But being able to spend top of the line money every single year takes that the chances out that will happen, right? Yeah, cardboard baseball gloves. There we go,
Yeah.
Curtis. It's just it does have to change. I'm with the owners. I think I was against the salary cap at first, but the Kyle Tucker deal put the nail in the coffin for me. It's got to be a cap. Has to be.
Yeah. It's I was a proponent of a much stiffer luxury tax. The Dodgers just paid 110% penalty on the Kyle Tucker contract, which means it's going to cost them more than double his AAV, and they didn't bat an eye.
No,
They're just like, whatever.
Didn't even think twice. Just
yeah. So for luxury tax purposes, even with the deferred money and signing bonus and all that, he's $57 million a year. On top of the $57 million a year, they're going to pay a penalty of, let's see, of $62.7 million. So
112 million.
So he's 119.7 million a year for Tucker after penalties.
Yeah, that's the full amount the Dodgers have to pay to have him play for them this year.
Round numbers, he's going to cost them $120 million a year. That is the payroll of, I want to say, the bottom 7 teams. Like, their payrolls don't exceed the cost of Kyle Tucker. It's mind-boggling.
Here's an idea to make it better. I'm kidding. Put steroids back in baseball. You know what? but
only for the bottom teams.
Yeah, only the bottom 15 teams can do steroids, man. That would be incredible.
We're playing backyard baseball. Those bottom teams get a 2-run head start.
Yeah, right.
We're playing 2-out innings.
Yeah, and Mr. Clams, we're with you here. The floor also has to be part of this because you have to show the MLBPA that the same amount of money is still available to all of their players, right? So you have to have the bottom teams come up and spend to make sure that there's still that money's available for the players. Or the MLBPA is going to be like, no, you're capping my guys and these guys aren't going to spend. Like, then my guys aren't getting paid. So you have to, again, it's no secret. I don't math at all. So for this to happen, you have to show that the same amount of money is available for players across the league. So we will see. Ryan, we've been saying this too. Baseball could be in a heap of trouble. It is at the peak. I don't even know if it's at the peak anymore. But when
it keeps climbing,
it does. But I think we might start seeing a decrease this year with everything that's happening. I really do. I think people are starting to realize that money is kind of ruining the game. It's ruining baseball. And baseball was America's game, America's pastime. And now across all sports, really, money has taken over. And it's not about the love of the game anymore. It's about how much money can I make.
Right.
That sucks.
Yeah. It is. It used to be, a pastime and a passion. And then it turned into, a business that still had kind of all the feelings of a pastime. And now it is strictly a business. I mean, sports in general have become a business. The money is insane across all the leagues.
Yeah. And Ryan, this is why the lockout, I think is going to be all year, right? Because you're right. How can you possibly implement a cap now? It is going to be damn near impossible. You need to have some math wizards in there to try to figure this out, or the MLBPA isn't budging and the owners aren't going to budge. And that's why it's going to take forever.
Well, and even if you agree to a salary cap, it'll take you years to implement. You're going to have to phase it in because you've got contracts you're going to have to either restructure or grandfather in, I mean, it'll be years before you actually have a full cap in effect. And when they put the salary cap in effect, like in the NFL, they phase it in over a period of years
Right.
to give teams the chance to get things kind of right for it.
Yeah. And they got 50 guys that they have to try to figure out. But
Yeah.
baseball, not quite that many, but still, you're right. Like they're going to have to phase it in. It's the only way they can do it. So
It would be wild to think they could just like flip the switch.
imagine that. Be like, salary cap's 185 million. Go.
Yeah.
Like,
Starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, but like even then, what the salary cap's going to be placed probably where the luxury taxes are a little bit higher. So
Yeah.
so you might have a salary cap that's 275 million. Let's say that's the number they pick, which is a pretty good number, or maybe it's 300 million. I don't know, but you're still going to have a lot of teams that can't even get to the cap.
Yep. Oh, right. For me, the biggest one that they have to do if they keep this luxury tax threshold is the deferral loophole. They have to close that.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to close that. And that should count towards the cap hit, right? Shohei Ohtani, if they have a cap's at 300, you're paying Shohei 70 million a year. All 70 million should count towards your salary for that year. I'm sorry, that's how it is. Because if you do that, you are going to see stars starting to spread out across the league. They're not going to be able to load up on one team or load up on the top 5.
And that's the point of the salary cap, is to disperse the talent across the league.
Right. And you have to do that. And that will only help grow baseball more. Right? Nobody goes to Marlins. We were talking about this again on the roundtable last night. Nobody goes to Marlins games because what's the pull? Kyle Stowers, is he a great player? Yes, absolutely. But is he enough to draw in fans? No.
I mean, on his own, no.
Tampa Bay Rays, do they have anybody at this moment? I mean, I think they could with Caminero, but eventually. But do they have anybody that sells tickets?
No.
No. Right? Paul Skeens, when he starts, place is packed. Every other start,
ghost town.
Yeah. And then even then, I went to a Paul Skeens start this summer, and there were still thousands of empty seats.
Yep.
And you have the best pitcher of the game on the mound, but there's just they're not competitive, so nobody wants to go. But if you start spreading that talent across the league, then you will.
The dude had a sub-2 ERA and went 10-10. I mean, like, if that's an indication how bad the team was, I mean, my God.
Yeah.
On any other team, the dude wins 20 games.
Yeah. Yeah, Tucker shaves 45 million of his deal AAV. Right. I mean, by deferring it, they shaved a lot off. But this is the other thing we've kind of thrown around a little bit, Harrison, is put a cap on how much you can defer, right? You can only defer 2 or 3 players or a certain percentage of their contract or whatever.
If it all counts luxury tax, I don't care. Defer it all. It just should count, because so MLB solved the back end of the deferral, and without boring everybody on this whole thing, but when you defer the money in a contract, you still have to fund that deferral during the stage of the contract. So Shohei Ohtani signs a $70 million per year deal. He gets paid too. The Dodgers have to escrow the 68. So like they've already funded the deferral. The money's already there. They just haven't given it to him yet. But it is now sitting separately, earmarked for Shohei Ohtani. So each year they put $68 million in a separate account. It's an escrow account that sits there waiting for Shohei to be like, okay, I'm ready for it. And then the money comes to him once that contract is over. MLB makes these teams funded. Why the hell don't you just count it? Like you're making them put the money aside. Make them count it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. And Ryan, this is where we are, right? There's only 8 teams a year with a legit chance, and that's dumb. And we're with you. Absolutely. And then to go down another rabbit hole, you can't even remotely think about bringing up expansion. You can't. In no way, shape, or form can you just end this lockout and then immediately turn to expansion. We talked about it a little bit on Sunday. the league's not ready for expansion at this point. You can't bring it in. That those talks have to be on the back burner right now. Not even a thought in Rob Manfred's mind.
No, and I would just quickly on the list, the whole idea of, baseball hasn't had a repeat champion until the Dodgers just did it. No, but you've only had 12 teams win the World Series in the last 25 years.
Right.
12.
That's a problem.
You've only had 12 teams of your 30 win a World Series in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, is there parity in baseball? Yes,
Sure.
there's some, but it's not like in the NFL where you've got substantially different parity. Now, do you have dynasties built? Yeah, you can still have dynasties built because you hit on that one player that changes your trajectory. But football is so dominated by like 3 positions that you can have one guy who's just that much better.
Right.
But in baseball, you can't do that. But like the parity in baseball is minimal. It's still the same handful of teams duking it out every year.
Yeah. And Curtis, I'm with you. I think it's at least 5 years. Right. This lockout could be a year and a half. I can't even put an amount of time on it. But
nobody's going to want to drop $2.1 billion on an expansion team when they can't get this figured out. Like the economic model is broken. They've got to fix it.
Yep. Agree. All right, let's take a break from our soapbox standing here for a little bit and get into some trivia. I have some just generic trivia. Then we have some before and afters later. So we got a pretty good segment of trivia here tonight. So let's dive into it. Some of them I think are easy. Some of them are a little bit tougher. So here we go. Only 3 second basemen in MLB history have surpassed 1,000 runs scored, 1,000 RBIs, and 200 home runs. Who was missing from the 3 to accomplish this in their career? Rogers Hornsby, Joe Morgan, and who?
My gut reaction was Chase Utley, but I don't think he hit a couple of those. But that background tells me it's not a Philly. So I'm pretty sure I know who this is.
Yep. Should be Hall of Famer. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if not for the stadium background, I would have probably spun on that one for a little while.
Yep. Michael got it. It is indeed Lou Whitaker. The fact that this dude's not in the Hall of Fame is another crime. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can let Alan Trammell in, and Lou Whitaker had pretty much an identical career, and he's just sitting there not even getting consideration. It's crazy.
Can we talk about the fact? Remember, we have another podcast in our chat. Are you doing like recon here, Michael? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
What are we doing? We got a podcast in a podcast chat.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, he's doing a little free advertising, but he's paying me on the side. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. He just doesn't know that he
just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, every time I post a comment, it's $1, so that's fine. Yeah. All right. Next, Jeff Kent's a good guess, but yeah, not Jeff
Kent is a good guess.
Yeah. All right. Here is the next one. 7 times in Astros history, a player has hit over 40 home runs in a single season, but only by 4 different players. Who is missing from this list of players to achieve this for the Astros?
Ooh.
We have Bagwell, Lance Berkman, Alex Bregman, and who?
Alex Bregman.
Yeah, he hit 41 home runs for them one year.
Yeah, he had a couple of monster years for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got. It's not Bell, is it?
It's not Bell. This one's probably a little bit tougher, but we've definitely brought him up before.
Bagwell,
he is an outfielder, played from 97 to 2005, pretty much all with Houston, ended his last 2 years with the Mets and the Rangers. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Clams got it. Yes,
nice.
it is Richard Hidalgo. Nice. Caminiti, good guess. Davis, Gonzalez, all good guesses. Yes, but it is Richard Hidalgo. Love it. All right.
I used to really like him.
Yeah, good player. Only twice in Arizona Diamondbacks history has a player recorded 200 hits in a single season. Luis Gonzalez recorded 206 in 1999, and this player who recorded 203 in 2016. And I'll give you a clue. You probably don't think of this guy as an Arizona Diamondback. I'll give you that.
Oh, Michael's got it.
He does have it.
It's got to be that guy.
It is.
It's got to be him.
It is. It is Gene Segura. Nice job. Yeah. I think of him as a Philly. I don't know why. Maybe because he spent a good chunk of his career there, or where I saw him the most. But yeah, Gene Segura is correct. Goldschmidt's a great guess. Goldie's always a great guess for Diamondbacks question. But yeah, Gene Segura. Pretty crazy. All right. Not counting the St. Louis Browns, who holds the single season record for most strikeouts in a single season for the Baltimore Orioles, striking out 221 batters in 2007? This might be one of the bigger polls we got.
The lefty gets me because it's all the righties I'm thinking of.
Let's see. This guy played from 2002, 2014. Baltimore, Seattle, Boston, Pittsburgh, Astros, and the Rays is the career path.
Oh.
Not Ubaldo. That's a great guess. It's not Jimenez. Yep, it is him.
The Seattle connection.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that might help, the Seattle connection. All right. Do you want us? Oh, here we go. Dan Marino. Good guess.
Dan Marino.
Not quite.
Laces out for us. Laces out.
All right. Do you want to drop the news, Harrison? Who is it?
I will.
Oh,
this is Eric.
Yeah.
Bedard. Oh, Curtis got it.
Eric Bedard. Nice job. Yeah.
I had no idea who this was till Nick said Baltimore, Seattle. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I know that path.
Absolutely. Ed Walsh holds 4 out of the top 5 spots for the most strikeouts in a single season for the Chicago White Sox. However, he does not hold the top spot. Who holds the number 1 spot?
Is this one as obvious as it seems? Okay. Okay. I'm like, is this a trick?
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, that was a nice pull, buddy. Nice job.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's a good one. I had no idea who it was until Nick gave it to
I was shocked. I'm like looking at StatHead. I'm like, that can't be right.
He was so good for a stretch. He really was.
Yeah, this one should not Wilbur Wood, not Blackjack McDowell. It's Chris Sale. Don't overthink this one. It is definitely Chris Sale.
This one is as obvious as it seems.
Yeah, Chris Sale has the number 1 spot for sure. All right. From the year 2000 till present, CC Sabathia threw 10 complete games in 2010, Bartolo Colon threw 9 in 2003, and Roy Halladay threw 9 complete games 4 separate times. However, who threw the most complete games since the year 2000 in a single season with 11 in 2011.
We can barely get guys to do 2 complete games a year now, and this got through
Yep.
11. Isn't even that long ago. That's how much
Right?
it's changed.
The round amount of sound with 9 in 2003, though. Love that. And Roy Halladay was just a beast.
Bartolo Colon had a rubber arm. I swear to God, that guy could pitch 5 days a week. It didn't matter.
Complete games, remember those?
My point exactly, Curtis.
Yep.
Oh. The stadium behind.
Yep. Yeah, I try to give hints in here with the colors, the stadium behind. I try not to leave you guys absolutely hanging. It's not Justin Verlander.
Oh, and Scott Kazmir. As Red Sox fans, I hated seeing that guy.
Not Kazmir. That's a great guess, though. It's not Scott Kazmir.
A great guess.
Yeah, Roy Halladay with the Phillies, Roy Halladay with the Blue Jays, Roy Halladay, period. The dude was absolutely insane. He was part of the best pitcher-batter matchup I've ever seen. I saw Roy Halladay pitch against Ken Griffey Jr. in spring training when Junior was with the Reds, and Junior took him deep. I mean, way deep. It was crazy, but that was so cool. Zambrano, good guess. King Felix, another great guess. Not him. So this is the Rays background. So Kazmir was the closest guess, but it's not Kazmir. This guy pitched for a couple other teams, but really settled in Tampa, I think.
He did.
He was good.
He was so big for them. Hence the nickname he earned.
Yep.
He pitched in all their big games.
You mean in all of his big James?
Yeah, those two.
All right.
And he overshadowed David Price.
Yeah, not Price.
The other guy, the right-handed guy who got every critical start.
All right, Harrison, who is it? Let's end the suffering.
Big game, James Shields.
There it is. Yeah, Mike just got it. Yeah, James Shields for sure. 11 complete games in 2011. So nice.
Didn't you go to like Chicago or something after this? And he was
like
terrible?
Chicago, Padres, I think, were mixed in there somewhere too.
Yeah.
He kind of jumped all over the place, I think, a little bit. But
yeah, it was Tampa, San Diego, the White Sox. So
all right, there we go.
Yeah.
It's almost like
we got it. Nailed it.
Nice. Yeah.
The big gave it away. Yeah. Good.
All right. This one may be the biggest poll I got tonight, but let's see how we do. We all know that Mike Marshall of the Dodgers has appeared in. I'm going to start over. My goodness gracious. We all know that Mike Marshall of the Dodgers has appeared in a game the most times in a single season with 106, an MLB record. 2 players are tied at 96 appearances, both for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kent Takube and who?
96 appearances in 2006? That's not even that long ago.
Well, we're getting old, Harrison. That was 20 years ago.
Easy.
This is probably the biggest poll I got tonight.
Good God.
I would be shocked if someone pulled this name. Absolutely shocked. Melanson's a great guess, Curtis. It's not Mark Melancon.
That is a good one.
That's a great guess. Not Mark Melanson.
You want me to name a Pittsburgh Pirates reliever?
Oh, I didn't pronounce Kent's name correctly. That's a shocker. It's Telkulve. How do you say it? I don't even know. Scott Sullivan.
Kent T.
Yeah, Kent T. Right, not Gagne.
Yeah, I think it's Tekulve, but I go back and forth on that one.
Telkuve, whatever. The comments on Facebook will roast me. I can't wait for that. Yeah, so it's most appearances in a game in a season. So they came in 96 times throughout the season, Tommy.
I have no idea who this would be. Holy cow, there's a lot of appearances.
All right, I'm going to end the suffering. This is Solomon Torres.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Solomon Torres. So it's definitely a name that we've heard, but 96 games for Solomon Torres. Oh, look at that. Got it. Michael pulled it out. Wait, who said it correctly? Harrison or me? Takulve? What did you say?
I thought it was always Takulve.
Takulve. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, English is hard. All right.
Forrest, this game is evil. I'm gonna burn my cape.
All right, here we go. Post 1960, only 2 players have thrown over 350 innings in a single season. Mickey Lolich with 376 innings pitched, and this player with the most at 376 and 2/3 innings pitched.
Good God, that's 2 seasons for most of these guys.
Okay, Harrison said it correctly. Well, of course he did, because it's not me. Oh, Tommy, then I'm gonna hire you to then answer the Facebook comments then, because
there we
come
go.
At me. Yes, Michael, it is Wilbur Wood.
Oh.
Yes, Wilbur Wood. Nice job.
Of course.
I put RIP because he did pass away this week, so that was a kind of
he did.
Wanted to throw that in there for him. So, yes, most innings pitched in a single season is Wilbur Wood. Yes, nice job.
God, that is almost 2 seasons for your top of the line starter now.
Easily, easily 2 seasons.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, so crazy. All right. In back-to-back years, this player led the league in most grounded into double plays in a single season, with 36 in 1984 and 35 in 1985. These are actually the top 2 totals in MLB history. Which player holds this distinction?
This one I know. The stance I recognize and everything.
Yeah.
And he was well known for rolling into a lot of double plays. He was like a rally killer.
Yeah. It's
also hit a lot of bombs and drove in a lot of runs, but he was known to kill some rallies.
You would say he's the Hall of Famer of rolling into double plays here.
You would.
Yeah. Bill Buckner, good guess.
Huh. No, Bill Buckner's in a different Hall of Fame for rolling.
Not Tony Armas, not Mike Greenwell.
Greenwell's not a bad one.
Yes, Tommy, it is a Red Sox. I don't know what gave it away.
I think it's a red silhouette.
Oh, yeah.
It's because it's the color red.
Marty Barrett, that's another great guess.
That's a good guess, yeah.
Great name drop there.
Tom Brunansky.
Uke, Remy.
Are we just dropping Red Sox names?
Still haven't gotten it.
Not in 84. I'm pretty sure Uke was a young buck in 84.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roger Clemens.
Think Hall of Famer, not Boggs. Goodness gracious. All right.
Ted Williams, the ghost of Ted Williams. Ted Williams' head.
Todd Benzinger. Nope.
Todd Benzinger.
It is Jerry Rice. Jim Rice, not Jerry Rice. Oh my God. My God. I'm all over the place right now. Yes.
The man is cooked.
Yeah, Jim Rice. Yes. Nice job, Paul. Jim Rice. Good.
His cousin Jerry was not involved in this.
All right. Last one for general trivia. Mark Reynolds holds the major league record for striking out the most times in a single season in MLB history with 223. Adam Dunn is in second, striking out 222 times. Who is now third on the list, striking out 221 times in the 2025 season?
It's my boy.
It is your boy.
He was my home run derby pick.
Yep. Are you saying Jerry Rice can't hit a curveball? I am saying that.
Yeah, I don't think Jerry Rice. You could throw him 10 curveballs. I don't think he touches one of them.
Now,
but if you throw it in the jug, you put it in the jugs thing and launch it across the field, he'd run that thing down and catch it.
Yeah, but now if you put Jim Rice in the wide receiver spot, does he take a hit going over the middle?
No. I mean, Jim Rice was a big dude. He'd give out a hit. He'd hurt somebody.
Also, Mark Reynolds. No, it's not last week's trivia question.
Mark Reynolds. I can't believe people got that one wrong.
I honestly,
I was like, yeah. How?
Ellie De La Cruz is a great guess. It is not Ellie. It is, in fact, James Wood. James Wood of the Washington Nationals, 221 strikeouts and 2025 belly de la food. But yeah, James Wood. So pretty crazy.
Belly de la food. Yeah, I like that one.
Pretty good. All right. We are going to move on to before and after. So if you guys have seen our show, we've done these before. What happens is we give you clues for two players where the first player's last name is the first name of the second player. So I need both names. Okay. So here we go. Here's the first one. Start you off easy. All-time RBI leader plus single season AL home run record holder. So this is just a warm-up, just so you guys know how it kind of works.
Now, if you ask John Temple, the single season AL home run record holder would be Cal Raleigh because he had a few in the playoffs.
Well, facts. And those stats should count for their career totals.
I almost spit my water everywhere.
Yes, Hank Aaron Judge is correct. I'll even accept Henry Aaron Judge, baseball history dork. So, yes. Good. So just so you guys know how that works, that's exactly how it works. Hank Aaron Judge, Henry Aaron Judge. Perfect. Oh, I suck at before and after. Well, sorry, Mr. Clams.
The nice thing is if you get one, you can usually figure out the second one.
Exactly. All right. Outfielder with short career that played for Cardinals and the Red Sox, plus Hall of Fame second baseman for the Astros.
Will Middlebrooks is still feeling the cleats in the back of his leg from this guy.
Will Middlebrooks Robinson, if you will.
Oh, look what he did there. He turned into before and after.
That. You remember this one, right? There we go. Yeah, oh, yeah. Mike Reed's got it. Alan Craig Biggio. Nice job.
Yeah, because it was Alan Craig that tripped over Will Middlebrooks, right? In the interference call during the World Series.
Yeah, I still go back and forth with that. Every time I see it differently each time.
It's such a tough one to call because that play was such a hot mess at third.
Absolute hot mess. It was crazy. Yeah, nice job. Yeah, Michael got it. Mike Reed got it. Nice job.
And then didn't the Red Sox then get Alan Craig, who ended up being a complete disaster?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It
was not a great experiment. That is for sure.
No, didn't work out.
All right. Catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, plus Dodger that hit a famous World Series walk-off homer. Not Freddie Freeman.
Dalton Varsho Otani.
Good.
Oh.
I mean, Varsho's so good at defense, he probably could catch, but
he could play anywhere. That dude is an animal. Yeah, this is a good one.
Yes, nice job, baseball history dork. It is Alejandro Kirk Gibson. Nice job. Nice work. Yep, good. Michael got it too. All right. Hall of Fame Southpaw starting pitcher with 4 Cy Youngs with the Phillies, plus catcher known for waving it fair.
Yeah, this is another good one. I mean, if you get one, you should get the other.
Yeah, this one's kind of a layup, I think. These are going to be hard to cut into reels. Just because they're supposed to be like 10 seconds long. Yeah, Steve Carlton Fisk. Nice job, Matthew.
Oh, I thought it was Cole Hamilton Porter. Darn.
Yeah, Steve Carlton Fisk. Nice job, guys. All got it. Oh, there's the Cole Hamill guess. Nope.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Although I kind of like the Cole Hamilton Porter. I'm gonna hang
That's
on
a
to
pretty
that
good one. Yep. Steve Carlton Fisk. Good job. All right. Two-sport athlete that played outfield for the Braves, plus free agent pitcher that ultimately signed with the Diamondbacks. Disclaimer, he was a free agent when he signed with the Diamondbacks. And if you were listening to the show earlier, Scott Boras botched his offseason.
Yeah. And now that dude is gone. I'm telling you, this outfielder keeps coming up on this show.
Yep.
It's so weird.
I love it.
He's been in a missing lineup. He's been who is that guy? He's been in a before and after. Like he keeps coming up.
Yeah. Not Deion Sanders, the other one, Jose. Bo Jackson Merrill's a great guess, Flat Cheese. It's not him.
Yeah.
We have used that one before.
This dude played for the Falcons.
Well, so did Deion Sanders, but that's fine.
Well, for a short period of time. This guy was primarily a Falcon.
You're so close, Matthew. You have the first part. He said Brian Jordan Zimmerman. Yes, Brian Jordan Mike Montgomery. Yeah. So this was an older trivia question, so I tried to adapt it to now. But yeah, Montgomery signed a free agent deal with the Diamondbacks that Boras kind of botched, and then signed with the Diamondbacks late. Then he got hurt, and then Montgomery fired Boras, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, Brian Jordan Montgomery.
The Diamondbacks publicly said they wish they'd never signed him. Like
it was a
whole
mess,
thing.
Man. It was an
it was a disaster.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian Jordan. Pretty easy one here. Straight up. Ace for the Yankees plus ace for the Royals.
I would love to see the Red Sox get this guy for Duran.
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily need another starting pitcher, but I would take him. Give me.
Could you imagine him being like the third or fourth starter on this team? another lefty.
Yeah, crazy.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, I'd take it. I would. Nope, not Ken Brett Saberhagen. These are current aces. Yes, I'll take it. Garrett Cole Raggins. Probably a little autocorrect there, but yeah. Garrett Cole Raggins. Raggins?
I would say Raggins.
I do too. But easy. Luke Weaver. Not quite. But yeah. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Clans. Brian Jordan's not talked about enough. Had a 3-year great career as a defensive back, and then had a 15-year MLB career. Yeah. Ridiculous athlete no one talks about.
And when he left football, people were shocked.
Yeah. Well, the money's in baseball, and your chance of injury is a lot less.
Yes, for sure. But he was really good.
I agree. Yeah, you guys got that. Nice job. Garrett Cole.
And that dude just blew people up coming over the middle as a safety. Yeah. Just blew people up.
Most famous Blue Jays walk-off home run ever, plus relief pitcher with the most controversial delivery ever. And if you guys remember when this guy came up, he was throwing 100 miles an hour in his delivery
from 7 feet away after he hop, skipped, and jumped there.
That delivery, I even tried to mimic it and I couldn't. Like just warming up, just warming up, like in my men's league, I was trying to do it one time. I don't know how he did it.
I'll never understand how he actually delivered a baseball that way.
No idea.
Not a clue. Not
Dave Carter Musicum. Yeah, Joe Carter Caps is correct, Matthew. Yeah, nice job. Michael got it too. Yeah, Flat Cheese, the Marlins guy. You're not wrong. And Musicum, it's an illegal pitch. I don't care what anyone says. Like, yeah, I mean, this picture is. I had a better one, I think, on the first one where it was like a bird's eye view, and you could see how far down the mound his plant foot was after he came off the rubber. It was weird, man. It's
Could you
just
imagine
so
facing him?
unnatural.
Like he's got these arms flailing. He's like lunging. He's like jumping at you. It must have been the weirdest thing.
Yeah, and he was like hunched over when he like hopped forward and
Yeah,
like, and then would
he's
just
got the ball's completely hidden behind his back and just kind of like just appears. It's got to be the weirdest thing. I'd love to see like that umpire camera of this guy throwing to see what it actually looked like.
oh yeah, and then by the way, it was gas as
It was
well.
gas.
It was like just crazy. But yeah, Joe Carter Caps. Yeah, I remember when he first came up, the whole baseball world stopped, and we're like, "What are
Yeah,
we watching?"
What is this?
Crazy. All right, dominant left-handed pitcher for the Indians and Phillies, plus Hall of Fame reliever for the Cubs and Cardinals.
The reliever was one of our controversial Family Feud topics.
Yes, he was. Although there was a good amount of people that got Raleigh fingers in the comment section. So
It is true.
yeah. So Cliff Lee Smith, Mike Reed is all over these ones. Nice job. Yeah,
Sure
Matthew
is.
got it too. Cliff Lee Smith. Nice job. Yep. Nice work. Baseball history dork got it as well. Nice job, fellas. All right. Most gold gloves ever by a position player, plus all-star second baseman that had Jay-Z as an agent.
Who's still hitting in the in the winter leagues?
Are they still doing that Middle East league? What was that called?
Oh goodness gracious. What was it called?
I can't remember. It was just like, I don't know if they just tried it for that 1 year or if that's still happening. It was like where all the old timers went.
Oh yeah, Baseball United.
That's what it was.
He was playing for the Dubai Wolves.
Yeah.
He's an investor and co-owner of the league.
That's what it was, right? Not Greg Maddux. Yes, he has the most gold gloves, but not by a position player. He has the most gold gloves ever, but he's a pitcher. So that's why I said position player. Mike Reed. It is Brooks Robinson Cano. Nice job. Yeah, Brooks Robinson Cano. Nice work. All right. Catcher that holds the longest rookie hitting streak ever, plus a utility infielder that debuted in 2020 with the Blue Jays and currently plays for the Reds, which I don't know if he's actually with the Reds anymore. I have kind of lost track of him because he has bounced around quite a bit since leaving the Blue Jays. He actually was with the Reds last year. So yes, this is still current.
Yeah, he was there last year. He
Yep.
didn't do much, but he was there.
Yep.
I never realized he was drafted by the Red Sox.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys are drafted by a team that they don't come up with. It's so weird how that happens.
is.
That's why the MLB draft is such a crapshoot. Unless you're like
It
a top
really
five
is.
pick.
But even then, like most of those guys don't make it.
True.
Like so many of those guys in the top 5 picks don't make it.
Yep. Anybody in the chat know this one? Did we stump them?
I don't know. It's quiet. It's crickets in chat.
Did we freeze?
That's
No.
possible.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to turn the page on this one. Everyone is silent, which kind of makes me worry here. All right. This is Benito Santiago Espinal. So, Michael, come on. Oh, everyone was stumped. Yeah. So, Benito Santiago holds the longest rookie hitting streak ever, and Santiago Espinal for sure. So, there you go. Stumped him. Love it. All right. Former first base slugger for the Red Sox, Angels, and Mets, plus second baseman that was acquired by the Red Sox and the Chris Sale deal. And I have no idea where he is right now, to be completely honest.
That is a fair point. Somebody had picked him up.
I want to say the Angels, but that
I'm pretty
is
sure
just a
that's right.
straight guess. That's a straight guess. I think he went over with like that reliever deal we got in the middle of last year.
Yeah, Angels.
Didn't we get a reliever from the Angels last year at the deadline?
Yeah, we did.
That's where he went. Yes, Mike Reed. It is Mo Von Grissom. Nice job, Mo Von Grissom. Yeah, Angels picked him up. Yep, nice job. Good. Michael got it. Matthew got it. Nice job, fellas.
You know, a kid who could be good. He needs to find a place where he's going to be able to play. He's not going to get playing time from these better teams.
No, I was excited when we got him because he was so highly touted in Atlanta, and just did not pan out whatsoever.
No, and the Red Sox really didn't have a place for him either. They prioritized Campbell, and which I get. He was your guy.
Yep, for sure. All right, announcer whose father was a longtime announcer for the Cardinals, plus manager for the Mets that got let go after the 2023 season.
Love this one. You're such a huge fan of that announcer.
Oh my God, he's my favorite.
I know.
Yep. Yes, nice job, Matthew. It is Joe Buck Showalter. Nice job. You got that. Mike got it.
Baseball. And for anybody wondering, Nick's fantasy baseball team is always Joe Buck yourself.
Yeah.
Always.
I can't. So, yeah. All right. Now that will do it for Trivia. So, nice little mixed bag there. Joe Buck Martinez, I guess, would have worked, but he wasn't the one that got fired in 2023. So,
no, but he's been fired for sure.
Yes. Yep. All right. Harrison, do you have anything to add? Chat, this is your chance to bring anything up that you would like to talk about before we head off for the weekend, which I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here Sunday or not because North Carolina is supposed to get hit with like 4 to 6 inches of ice. So I don't know if I'll have power. So I may or may not be here. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes, but just wanted to give you a heads up.
We're getting 18 inches of snow overnight on Sunday into Monday, so there's that.
Well, that's the storm that's going to hit us this weekend, so you're welcome.
Yeah, you're going to get ice. We're going to get 1.5 feet of snow, so that's fun.
Yeah, they were originally the model said 2 feet here, but and then it's it's too warm, so it's going to turn to ice, which is great. So
marvelous.
Yeah, I saw this today too, Forrest. Have we discussed how we've been saying Ranger Suarez's name wrong this whole time? His name is Ron Hell. That's how you pronounce it.
Wait, what?
Ron Hell is how you pronounce Ranger Suarez.
No.
But he's just been rolling with it. Yes, it came out. He said it in the press conference.
Wow. There's no L in it though. Like where does that come from?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was kind of mind blowing to me too. So yeah.
Huh. Well.
Oh, Ron Hare, maybe. Maybe I even pronounced it wrong. Listen, don't come to me for name pronunciations. You guys should know that by now. But anyways.
So it's Ron Hare Suarez? Ron Hare.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because the G is soft in Spanish. So that makes sense. Ron Hare.
Yeah. So really our whole Texas Rangers plot never would have worked anyways.
No, they're the Texas Ron Harris.
Oh boy. So Ron Harris Suarez. I'm still gonna call him
Yeah.
Ranger. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. Yeah. Mackenzie Gore also went to the Ron Harris. So we talked about that earlier.
Nick's kryptonite names.
Listen, math and English. I already told you my worst subjects in school, hands down. It's not even close.
So what were you good at?
Geography.
And don't say gym.
No, geography. I crazy at geography. I've always loved it. I don't know. History I liked. Spanish I was pretty decent at, but like because it's all memorization, all that stuff like English, math, forget it. I'm out.
Yeah, so logic is out, memorization is in.
Yes.
Got
it. Yep.
So. For English, press 2 for Harrison.
That might be the comment of the night right there. I love that.
For English, press 2 for Harrison. That is amazing.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna see 2s in the chat now every time I go off on
goodness,
like a 1.5 minute rant.
Everything start pressing 2 for English.
Oh my god, you guys. Oh.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yikes.
Anyways.
Whew. Okay then.
Anyways, do you have anything?
A couple quick things. So the Cubs are signing free agent outfielder Chas McCormick, our good buddy Chas. He's obviously out. He had some good years in Houston. He completely fell off a cliff. Cubs are signing him to a minor league deal in hopes they can try to resurrect his career because you know what? They realized they need outfielders.
Preferably a right fielder since there's no one out there.
Yeah, I mean, you had Kyle Tucker. You said no. So you were going to do it Owen Casey. You traded Casey. Now you got nobody. So in steps Chas McCormick.
Empujas dos.
Sure.
That push 2.
You'll have 2 empanadas?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Cubs need a right fielder. No secret.
Nope.
So we'll see.
No surprise there.
Oh no, you can still use this name, Michael, but the fee just went up to $2 a post. So you're welcome. Anyways.
Yep. And make sure to tip your waitress. Will be here all week.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I mean there's some other kind of random news items. You know, Jung Ho Lee was having a tough time getting through customs and immigration at LAX. Got through no problem after some confusion. And you know, just more and more articles and stories coming up about owners fed up and wanting a salary cap. That's been the big topic the last couple of days throughout the media.
Yeah, I mean it's no secret, right? I mean, the owners are in this for the long haul, no doubt, and it is what it is at this point. And I don't blame them. I really don't. Like we said, like are some of them cheap and they don't spend? Yeah, absolutely. Like I get that side of the argument, but for all the middle teams sitting there trying to compete and just physically can't, something has to be done. And for the league to lose $1 billion last year as a whole, something has to be fixed. And it's not necessarily specifically a Dodgers problem. It's not specifically the cheap owners problem. It's the whole thing. It's the whole structure. Like you said, the whole economic structure needs to change. The worst thing that could happen in this lockout is if they spend a year plus, they take out all of 2027, it spills over to the first part of 2028, and nothing changes. They just sign it and go back to how things are, or they make minor tweaks. Then we're going to have some massive issues going forward. I just don't see the league surviving in the state that it's in right now. Do you?
I mean, no, there's no way it does. You're going to have fan bases check out. You're going to have teams that kind of just give up. and end up, watch their payroll fall as they just say we can't compete anyways. And then you're going to start to crush team values, and it would be bad. It'd be bad to stay on this path for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Michael asks, how many years is this going to set baseball back if we don't have a season? Well, now 1994 is a little bit different, right? It was a player strike. It wasn't necessarily the MLBPA and the owners fighting over that. But I mean, I guess essentially that's the same thing, but the players stopped.
Right.
But it took 4 years for baseball to recover. How long does it take for this one? I mean, baseball is at its peak, like right now. We said it earlier, like fans are coming out in groves and they're still losing money. Like this is the highest attendance season. It keeps going up and up and up ever since the 2023 WBC, which was like the launching pad for this. It's increased. And then all of a sudden you just stop it. How many people come back? I don't know. It's a fair question, Michael. I 4 or 5 years maybe till we're back. I don't know. It's a fair question. I don't know the answer to it.
Well, and let's keep in mind, baseball rebounded in 94 in 1998 because of a little thing called steroids in the home run race. I don't think Major League Baseball can pull another rabbit out of their hat and juice up the game again.
Here comes the golden batter rule.
Yeah, it's going to become banana ball.
Speaking of banana ball, that is kind of exciting. So Harrison and I when we first started this podcast, we had a guest on that was pitching for the Brooklyn Cyclones at the time, single A. He had worked himself up to the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, pitched for the Syracuse Mets a little bit. David Griffin. Now, I asked him the other day if he was willing to come back on, and I'm asking to come back on because he was the second round picked in the banana ball draft this year by the Indianapolis Clowns. So I just kind of wanted to invite him back on and kind of hear about his journey with that. He's tearing it up on social media, as all those guys for banana ball does. So it would be great if we could get him back on for Sunday. He said it would be cool for Sunday, so I'm going to double check, make sure he's good. But that could be a cool little interview just to see how it's changed from, minor league affiliated ball to a league that's exploding with banana ball. So be pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Such a cool guy. And, he saw the opportunity to jump into this. And, if it wasn't for Jackie Bradley Jr., he might have been a first round pick.
Yeah. And I saw a video of that. They were out golfing the other day together. So pretty cool there. So hopefully we can get him on and it works out Sunday. So we might be able to see him and touch base again. So pretty cool. Yeah. Anything else? Curtis, work on solutions and conflict resolution. Wishful thinking, though.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. I don't. Where do you realistically see this ending up, Harrison? Like, obviously, both sides have to concede a little bit. But where do you see, or where would you like to see this CBA kind of end? What's your dream scenario? Knowing that both sides have to concede a little bit. Not what you want, where you realistically see these two sides coming together.
I think you realistically end up with a more punitive luxury tax. I think they'll get rid of the deferred money calculation loophole, and I think you'll end up with a more punitive luxury tax. So the teams that want to spend more can, and they're going to pay a pretty premium for it. But it doesn't limit or cap what they can spend. So I think it's going to be fix the deferred money calculation so it all counts, and then a much more punitive luxury tax. And I agree with Mike Reed. I do think that to get that, they're going to have to add in some kind of a floor. They're going to want those bottom feeders to take the money they're getting in revenue share and put it back in the team.
Yeah, in no way, shape, or form should any of those teams that are receiving luxury tax money be able to pocket that. It has to They have to prove that they're putting that back in the league somehow.
Yeah. Now I do think there'll be a grace. I do think that floor won't be a hard floor. I think it's gonna be one of those like you can't be below it in 2 out of 3 seasons because like there's gonna be situations like the Marlins where you're doing a full gut rebuild. You won't be at that number for a year or two,
Right.
but you can't stay there. Like you don't want to have that shouldn't be your permanent residence. You can dip below it for short periods of time, but you can't stay there.
Which I think is a misconception by the fans is that's already sort of in there.
It is. It just doesn't have a lot of teeth to it. Like it takes a number of years to lose revenue share.
Right. And that's fair. Right. But we saw last year, why did the A's sign Luis Severino?
Because they had to spend.
They had to spend. Why did they extend Brent Rooker? Other than he's an all-star, they had to extend those guys to get up to a certain dollar amount, or they were going to be penalized hefty. So now I agree with you. Maybe they lessen the time that the penalties start accruing. But there is a floor in place right now. It's just not, like you said, it's not a hard floor.
Yeah. And maybe what you get is a more punitive floor, but it still leaves some wiggle room because there's going to be times where you do gut and you rebuild and you're not there, but you have to get back there. You've got to show you're going to get back there.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michael, yeah, they have to force the lower teams to spend what they get, right? Whatever they get from the league revenue share, they got to put back in the team. I agree.
And there may be a situation where they start to allocate the money. It's like, look, you're getting X dollars in revenue share. Show us where that went into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Show us how you bumped up pay. You got an extra $10 million this year. Where'd you spend it? Show me where your payroll went up.
So this is an interesting point, Mike, because I don't think they will let teams go under the floor anymore to make them have to sign older free agents. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky for me because the influx of young kids pushing these older guys out now brings up expansion again, right? You need roster spots for these older guys to go to, right? So if you are going to do that, you need 2 other organizations in there for players to go if you're going to do that, because we've talked about it numerous times on the show. The kids coming up are making immediate impacts on the team, and they're cheaper, way cheaper for team control. So if you are going to do that, Mike, then expansion's back on the table rather quickly. But
yes.
So, I mean, I agree what you're saying, but it's a little sticky in that point. Like you have to have a place for those players to go if that's what you're going to do.
Yep, yeah. Agreed.
And there is a cap in place called luxury tax. It doesn't work. And I get that point too, Matthew.
Yeah, not a cap though. I mean, it allows you to go beyond. It does create penalties. The penalties escalate over time the more and more you go over the tax. But a cap prevents you from being able to spend. A tax lets you spend with penalty. And the Dodgers have proven they don't care about the penalty. So,
right.
I mean, a cap may be what you need, but it's going to be really hard to get a cap in place.
And that's where the difference is, and that's where the outrage is not the fact that the Dodgers can spend. It's the fact that they don't care that they're getting penalized, where other teams it would cripple them.
Yeah,
like to the point they got to probably sell. Like I'm done, right? Dodgers are like, it's just money. This penalty doesn't mean anything. That's why we thought for a while Kyle Tucker was out. We're like, they're already up over that threshold. But for the Dodgers to just say, screw it, we're getting them anyways, like that's a red flag to me. And I wish. Okay.
Well, and then you had the Dodgers defer some of the money in Kyle Tucker's contract, but also pay him a $64 million signing bonus.
Right.
To front load it. It's like, again, like they're just playing a different game with resources that nobody has.
Right. Oh, but your team could do it too, Harrison.
I mean, no, not they out earn the Red Sox by a hefty margin.
Yep. And this is the other point I brought up the other night, Mike, is right? The MLBPA does also have to look out for the other 99% of the players in the league. And if they're not playing, they're going to be squawking, right? Like, hey, I'm making league minimum here. I need this paycheck for my family. Like, we need to play. And there might be some pressure there. They're going to get pressure during this lockout. Both sides are going to get tons of pressure. I just hope it isn't like, what was it, 21 into 22, 22 into 23, right? Was that the lockout? 22 into 23?
Yes.
So, oh yeah, because we started right in the middle of the lockout.
We sure did.
It just seemed like the two sides would come together for 5 minutes each day in December and just be like, you got anything? Nope. You got anything? Nope. And then go their separate ways. Like they didn't sit in a room, right? They didn't sit in a room and hash it out.
No.
And they need to jump on this right from the get-go. They can't have this like, slow back and forth. Like if they want a season in 2027, they have to hit the ground running on December 2nd. In my eyes.
They do. So. They do. They got to be way ahead of this.
Yeah. Matthew says, I believe that a cap will only hurt the players in the long run, and I hope they can think outside the box to fix their outdated system. How do you think the cap's going to hurt them? By like making less, like only making $28 million a year, or like how do you mean? How do you think the cap will hurt them?
It all depends on how the cap is set too. If you set the cap really low, then yeah, you're going to take down the overall pool of money.
Facts.
If you add a floor and set a cap at a realistic level, you can actually have the same amount of money available for free agents. They just can't all go to one team like they've been doing. They've got to actually spread out.
Right.
And that's ultimately what a cap is trying to do. It's not trying to stop players from getting paid. It's trying to make them have to disperse throughout the league.
Right.
So you can't have one team just accumulate all these players.
Can you imagine what the league looks like with their stars actually spread around?
I mean, imagine
a different look.
Yeah, you'd have multiple stars in markets like Cleveland and Minnesota and Miami. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, LA. Oh. Yeah, and this is the other point I was kind of making, right? Is putting veterans out to pasture in favor of younger, cheaper players at an accelerated rate more than now. And yeah, we've been saying that. I mean, the rookies that are coming up and are in the rookie of the year race the freaking A's had 3 of them. I mean, like we're seeing that on every team. Every year, one team has a rookie that is just unreal. And you're like, where did this kid come from? 10, 15 years ago, you had 1 or 2 across the entire league, maybe 3. But the influx of these guys, like the MLB's not too big for them anymore. Yeah. Like they're making that adjustment on the fly and they're making immediate impacts. It's hard. There's a lot to work out here. I don't know how it ends up. It's messy. It's messy.
Yeah. And I think that's the nature of it. Like if a younger player is coming up, they can do the same thing as you. Yeah, sorry, you're out. But this is a merit-based, results-based game. If a young guy can put up better numbers for half the price, sorry, dude, you're gone.
Yeah.
And look at the NFL. Look how many guys, look at the running back position. How many guys have 2 or 3 monster years, then they just disappear because there were cheaper alternatives that could do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this would be nice too. Please incentivize keeping players on their original teams without attaching draft picks. Forgive luxury tax. That would be a good incentive.
It would.
Mookie Betts stays on the Boston Red Sox. Hey, you get a break on the luxury tax there because you kept him homegrown. Right? That's just an example. I don't hate that at all, Matthew. That's a great point.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting way to do it. You just have to make sure you're not in any way restricting competition amongst the players.
Yeah.
That they have the ability to go out and negotiate a fair market deal.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know where this ends up, but I mean, we have a full year to talk about it. I'm sure more things will come out as the season goes on. Um, I don't even know if Manfred still got those conversations open. I haven't really heard anything about him visiting each side to see other than the Bryce Harper incident. Haven't really heard him going back to either side to see where they're at this moment. But
No, I mean his
it's kind of out of his control right now.
it is his responsibility is to the owners. That's the group he's talking with.
Yeah.
The union is completely their own entity, and they will do as they see fit.
This is more like a brainstorming session. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a therapy session. We're trying to solve the problem.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the MLB fan union shirt should be going out on our store here pretty soon. That'd be pretty sick. Which John Temple said that we should start one. That'd be sick, man. If the MLB fans had a say, just bring it to the table.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot. And there's a lot they have to cover. There's a lot they have to sort out. I don't even know where they start.
It's coming quickly, though.
Yeah, but they're just miles apart. They're nowhere near each other. So that's closing that gap is going to be an astronomical task. So we'll see what happens. That being said, though, we are about a month away from spring training, which is crazy.
Amen.
Hell yeah. Can't wait. So I don't have anything else.
Which means the WBC is coming.
Yep. Can't wait for that month and a half. Let's go. So I don't have anything else. You don't have anything else, Harrison?
That's it.
All right. Chat, as always, you guys were incredible. Brought a lot of stuff to the table like you do every night. Really, really appreciate what you guys bring to the show every single episode. Can't thank you enough. Keep up the support on our page. And we'll see you Sunday. Hopefully we'll have a guest on. We will see. But again, really appreciate it. And we will see you guys Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, if I don't get iced out.
We'll see. See ya.
All right. See ya.